Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Cooking with Suzanne. So this morning, I'm getting ready to prepare some French meat pies, and I thought this was a good time to share with you a short demonstration on how to chop and dice. To start, you definitely want to make sure that you have a sharp knife. It's important to just pick up an inexpensive steel and always use the steel to sharpen your blade before you get started. If you have your steel in front of you, you just want to use a light hand to actually go ahead and sharpen your knife, and do this about 10 to 15 times. So I'm going to lower the camera down so you can see close up the vegetables that I'm working with. Okay, here we go. So I have a half a carrot here, and the first thing you want to do, as I said, is to find a flat surface. So I will go about 1/4 inch, depending on how thick you want it, so that I can flatten out my carrot. And now it's not going to go anywhere. And then you're just going to make julienne strips. It's also very important to make sure that your cutting board is not going to move around on you. So I always take a wet paper towel or a wet dishcloth and put it underneath my board so it's not going to move. You can put as many as your hand can handle. So I have my fingers upright so I don't cut my fingers, and my thumb and pinky are on the board. And depending on how small you want it, I want this fairly small to go into our meat pie. So I just keep backing up with my fingers, and then just move that away. Clear your knife. Bring this forward. We're going to do the celery next. I peel the back of my celery so that it's nice and tender. But you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I just find that the celery is more tender and it's just a lot nicer. I'm going to cut the piece of celery in half so that I can work with it comfortably, and then just go in and make however thick you want your vegetable to be. So this, once again, is going to be about 1/4 inch. I have my julienne strips, and now I can go ahead and dice away. Here's our celery, looks lovely. Here's a half of a shallot. I already split it in half lengthwise, and here is the root, which I keep intact right here. And then you can go ahead and just keep it, don't go all the way to the end, and just make long julienne strips, but it's completely still intact, okay? Now you can take your knife, and you always want to go down towards your board, not up towards your hand. So I have my hand on top of my shallot, and I'm taking my blade and I'm going down towards the board. So you're not going to cut yourself, and make as many as you like. So now you're just going to hold your shallot in place and go in and back away as your knife gets closer to you. Here we go. And here is our root. With the garlic, I love to use my mandolin to first slice. If you have one of these very inexpensive mandolins, I like to first slice the garlic thinly, which you don't have to do, but I just happen to have it, so why not use it? Bring it all together. Okay. I'm getting very thin, long slices. Now just turn it this way, turn it around a little bit. There we go. hold it together, bring it all together, take it off your blade, and if you need to, you can go over it one more time if you want it very finely minced. Hold on to the tip of your blade. There you have it. There. Now we have our leek. So it's important to make sure that you have a bowl of water, and that is to be able to clean leeks. Leeks are very dirty. So the first thing you want to do is start at the root and go in and follow your hand with the vegetable and first cut it in half. Now we have nice leek. Once again, keeping it intact, I'm going to go down using the tip of my knife to slice through. And then I can hold on to my vegetable and dice my leek. Keeping your fingers back away from your knife so that you don't cut yourself. All the way to the root. And then here are our beautiful leeks. So the leeks I will now put in the bowl of cold water. And all the dirt will go to the bottom of the bowl and the leeks will float on top, and then you're able to take the leeks out. So that's how you dice and clean a leek. And lastly, let's take a piece of onion and dice the onion. So here's the root right here. I have the root. So once again, I'm just going to go and cut all the way to the end. All right, so here we have, see all the slices? Now I'm going to go ahead and use my knife, working downward, down towards the cutting board, not towards your hand. And you don't have to go fast, take your time. Now at this point, I can't really get any closer the way it is. So I'm actually going to take the onion and flatten it out again. And here's the root, it's still right here. So now you can go ahead and once again, pick it back up, and now I can finish cutting all the way to the root. And then you just have your root. And if you had any long pieces, you can just very quickly go over your long pieces, and now it's all the same. And if you wanted it smaller than this, you can go over it once or twice. Here's our diced onion. So just to recap what we just went through, here are our beautiful vegetables that are all nicely diced and ready to be sauteed for my meat pie. Here is the garlic, which we did. So what's important, make sure that you pick yourself up an inexpensive steel and always sharpen your knife before you get started. And always look for a flat surface. So when you have something like a carrot that is round like this, you first want to cut it in half, cut off a strip. So now we have a flat surface to slice our carrot out. It is nice to peel your celery. If you like to do that, it does make a very nice tender vegetable. And I think that's pretty much it. It's not hard. It's lovely to, actually this is called a mirepoix, carrots, onion, and celery. And a lot of dishes begin with a mirepoix. So if you can learn to enjoy the chopping and dicing makes cooking enjoyable. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Bye now.